Besides being society's misfits, the alienated are sometimes our heroes. They can be the rebels, the underdogs, and the cynics that challenge the complacent assumptions of their times. Wi-Fi, VR,
AR, smartphones, dumb phones, crypto, NFT, FTP, algorithms, data mining, input, output, RAM, firewalls, routers, breadcrumbs, cookies, GPUs, CPUs, brain chips, microchips. The 21st century, on the cusp of a world that blends with science fiction. We find ourselves in this present day and age, witnessing the birth of AI systems, brain-computer integration, data centers, social networks, quantum computing, a non-complete, ever-expanding quest of innovation, the relentless and passionate pursuit of Babel. We man the ship on this strange star quest, and the outcome is no one's but ours. Let's face it, our lives are becoming increasingly digital. Smartphones are tucked into the pockets of 91% of Americans. 92% of jobs require digital skills. 4.8 billion people use social media. And don't you dare forget about robots. As we become more and more engaged with these virtual landscapes, we lose touch with the physical. So what's one of the most physical things there is? I reckon you know the answer. Nice Place, Bad Setting presents Stalwart.
Skateboarding in our modern culture is like the gateway sport or hobby into like the alternative things in our culture. Skateboarding exposed me to thinking differently outside the box. It's mental as well as it is physical. There's an artistic expression. You can be like an athlete about it. Like it's kind of whatever you need it to be.
Thanks for being here. You want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, I'm Jordan Taylor. I'm the owner of Union Skate Shop and Eastern Logic Clothing. And you guys are here in my living room right now, and we're gonna tell the story.
So, why skateboarding?
As real young, I never knew I'd be a skateboarder. I'm the youngest of like 3 siblings. I originally was like super like football kid. Actually, I played 9 years of football. I like low key, like when I was a little kid, wanted to be like an NFL football coach. That was like life. But I'm one of the people that got introduced into skateboarding from like the Tony Hawk Pro Skater. And my like best friend Levi, he was skateboarding. His cousin was like from California, and I went to his house and like rode one of his extra skateboards. And that's kind of how I started skating, but I was still more into football. That was like probably like in 2003. I was like 10 years old. And it was like a slower growth. When I was probably like in 8th grade, skateboarding influences the music that you start to listen to and the way you dress. In your friend group, I started hanging out with like older kids that like ride BMX and like definitely not the jocks, and you start to get influenced by like philosophies and ideas, and I kind of gravitated to the culture more and all of that. And so I kind of grew out of football. Skateboarding got me into like making movies and stuff like that. And Lincoln Park Charter School opened in Midland, and it's a performing arts high school. And my mom allowed me to quit football to go to school there. That was like pretty much the standard. And I like went there for like cinematography, media arts, like graphic design and all that. So then like just football left my life, and I really got more consumed into skateboarding and the arts. And that was a huge, really good move, life-changing move in my life. So it's like a slow growth. You start skating, but I didn't know I'd own a skate shop or like shoot all these videos and meet all these people in different states and all that stuff like that.
So if you want to give the audience like a brief rundown of Union Skate Shop and its history.
I started my brand with like just making t-shirts and videos with my friends, and I was working at a hoagie shop here in town called Philly Originals, and I made friends with like the kids graduating high school, and then me and my friend Chandler, we opened the skate shop, and like it kind of just fell into place. There wasn't like a life agenda of opening. It kind of just happened. It was like supposed to happen or something. And we did that. Me and Chandler ran it together for about 2.5 to 3 years. We opened in July 2015. And it's good times. I was 23, he was 18. And yeah, then I just did it on my own after that. And like year 6, I moved on to a bigger location, and then year 9, I closed the shop and everything's in storage. All right. Well, this is where the skate shop is right now, everybody. Little 10 by 10. I closed our last storefront location in July of 2024. And I actually had 2 of these garages with inventory, but since then I've been selling through and I kind of got the rest in one little garage. And this is it right now, unfortunately. So yeah, cool things like I was blessed. Deluxe sent me this board when we ordered it. It was a pre-order, and they kept it a secret. You didn't know what you were buying. And I was lucky enough to get one of the rare 250 Tony Hawk Ripple House boards. So I have one. Stuff like that happens. I don't want to just... I've got, during the coronavirus, it was impossible to like keep skateboards in stock, and Scumco was like a local brand. And this is like probably the only print of this board. And he like surprisingly sold me this at wholesale. And this board's like super dope. It's got the PA stuff all over it. This is one of my favorite boards. It wasn't one in my collections, but I'm kind of just like trying to get everything out of my life. What else do we got? Another Scumco from my personal. This is a Ben Gore guest board. Unopened. It comes with a magazine. Ben Gore's a really good photographer as well as skater. And he's one of my favorites. I really like this. This shit's cool. It's a shame Scumco closed this year as well as we did. Another Scumco from my collections. This board's old. This board's really cool. I don't know why I like it a lot. I feel like it's the colors more. The blue and the yellow. And I like the simple graphic. And then, what else do we got? Well, shout out Leftover Skateboards. I got some boards. This is from like one of my best friends, Leftover Mike. Give him a follow on Instagram. His stuff rolls. Yeah, so this was our second location that we just closed. We were in here for like 3 years. It was a larger space. I honestly never thought we would make it on actual Main Street. So it was cool to try. It was a different experience. It was pretty busy.
So
yeah.
Tell me about this area.
So this was our shoe wall. It was completely full. I think we had like 110 pairs in stock at one point. And then this was the board wall. I squeezed like 400 boards on there somehow at a time. And if you walk this way, I mean, we always had like clothes and like random stuff around everywhere. And
how does it feel coming back in here and seeing it completely different?
I like it. I like what they did. We put this floor in, actually. I forgot to mention. They had like this gross carpet, but me and my friends put this entire floor in.
Okay.
But we painted it black, and then all the walls were blue when we painted it.
Oh, I see.
And we had this cool splatter stuff around here.
To kind of give it its own personality.
Yeah, and like
keep it true to yourself.
I had all my wheels hung up on here, like on these hooks. And then like trucks were hung up on this wall and all the accessories. And we had like a hat wall at times. So yeah, we just used all the stuff and always had like a table of clothes and kind of looked like a boutique in a way. So.
Yeah.
But this was it. This was our second location, our biggest, and we're here for like 3 years. So yeah, this was the first location. We opened in 2015, and we moved to that other one I just showed you in 2021. But this was like the best era of the shop. We were in this middle. Our neighbor, the beauty Marc, basically looked at that other shop and she couldn't take that building. We worked out a deal where I moved over there in hopes of opening a skate park in the back room, but it didn't work out. So she knocked a wall down and like expanded her whole space.
Oh, I see.
But she has it all closed off. We can't look in there, but people that know, this was legendary times. The first couple of years it was intimidating to walk in here. We were kind of like degenerates and drinking a lot, and it was kind of gnarly, and the scene kind of matured, and these salons were always here. We were always skating these curbs, getting yelled at by the bankers.
Yeah, you guys have a nice big parking lot.
We always had ledges, and we had a quarter pipe we would bring out.
Would you like host?
We were always skating, especially Sundays. Like we would skate, and Sunday was the best because mostly everything's closed, and sometimes someone wanted to call the police, and the cops were cool. They would just be like, someone called, so I just showed up. But it was pretty cool, and that curb is like one of the best curbs ever. We had it waxed, and you could go slappy it, and super good times. It was a good spot for everyone to come and just be themselves and hang out. And then on Main Street, it killed that vibe a little bit, but also a lot of the scene kind of moved. People were going to college and the scene changed. And so it was like every 2.5 years, it was like a completely new skate scene. And that's like kind of how fast skateboarding works. So
it's interesting.
But yeah, this was like the best memories are here. Also good memories there too, but
this was just the original spot.
But in 9 years, it felt like 20 years of like history in a sense. So
it's nice. So did you guys like hold like skate like events out here, contests and stuff? We
kind of did, yeah. We have had like, we would like do like celebrations and everyone was invited and whatever. We might have had pizza or whatever and had things going on. So yeah, super good times for sure. I can't even think of like a lot of good stuff. A lot of good memories here for sure. A lot of kids skated just because we were here. Like all the youth kids at this church started skating just because like the shop was cooler than church and stuff like that.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was good. I hope I was a good influence to the kids. I feel like sometimes I was a bad influence, but you'll have that, I guess.
But I mean, I don't know. It's better than them just being mindlessly bored. It gives them a sense of community and things to do.
Yeah, it was huge. Yeah, the communal was awesome, and all in all, it was really good. So I'm stoked on it. When I really found out, like when I was like 15, 16 or so, that like skateboarding was more than like a thing to be good at or something. Like it's not like a sport. It's like a way of life. It's like a way of life. It's a lifestyle more than like something you go do on Saturday, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So I just think everything gravitates to you with your way of life. You know what I mean? Like it was like more important than everything else. So I don't know. Yeah. And skateboarding. So the rough like economic thing that it's going, cause you know, no one needs like skateboarding. You know what I mean? Like there was a big boom in the pandemic for sure, because people had free time and free money, so people checked out skateboarding. But skateboarding's really difficult. Like everyone tries it almost, and like 1 out of like 100 people stick to it. And then it's like different areas, it's just more popular because of the weather and the culture, and like the more people do it in an area, there's going to be more skateboarders there, obviously. But I think this little recession that we're feeling, because I feel like my generation, like dudes that are like 30, skateboarding is more popular than it is the kids at this moment. Skateboarding's really hard. Being like playing video games is way easier. People's attention spans are different. And the thing that's missing, like the thing that's good about this recession of the lack of interest in skateboarding is kind of good because it's been through this before. It'll go back to how it should be within the community, because it's like there's the culture of the selfie, right? Like the selfie. So skateboarding, just like the people that are just about making their like 25-second reels, like those skaters, that's the selfie in skateboarding. And that's what kills it, because it's about the community. It's about going out with your friends and like feeding off of each other and like living life together. It's like a communal thing. That's like what keeps skateboarding strong. That's what's made it popular. That's what inspires like streetwear, everything. That's how skateboarding makes everything cool. But when you're self-indulged like that, that's what's killing it. You know what I mean? That's like what was good about skate shops is everyone can go there. Like if, you know, like usually a lot of kids that hang out at skate shops, their home lives are not great. And it's like they'll go there. That's like their secondary home and stuff like that. And it's like it's the most intimidating place to go in at first. But it's the place you find out you can be yourself. Like you can be like who you actually are and stuff like that. You can be weird, and you can handle like being teased in that environment. You know what I mean? Better than in another. You can't encourage the behavior that is killing it, if that makes sense. You need to just like say no to a point and not encourage that. You know what I mean? And there's brands that do it, and those were the brands I tried to support. You know what I mean? But psychologically, that's rough. That's like not a good sales technique, you know? Yeah. So, because people want you to feed their passion immediately. You know what I mean? So, but the collective is what's important. And the selfie idea, like it's like when I was young and you ran into other skaters, you were like immediately friends. Now it's like, they don't even care, like whatever you skate to. Like that's strange to my generation, you know? So as soon as good street skate videos stop being made, that's like when the industry dies, because street skateboarding is accessible and that's what keeps it going. You know what I mean? So skate park videos have their place, but skate parks are designed because of what people in the streets are innovating. So as soon as street skaters stop innovating, that's when skateboarding's dead, essentially. That's what I would say.
Do you feel that you've grown as a person since the closing of your shop? Like, have you learned anything from that? Was it hard to let go?
Oh yeah, super hard. Yeah, super hard. I definitely was depressed about it and grieved, and I feel like 2023 and 2024 were like super hard years for like any business probably. And like I never expected the skate shop to be like something that like helped pay my bills, honestly. I always thought it would just be like, this just kind of sustains the hobby and like has like the community come to. But I outgrew that, and but then when you outgrow that, you make that commitment to where like, you know, you need to try to sell X amount of dollars and be prepared for that, and there's no guarantee. Then you start getting past the skater passionate mindset to like, you kind of have to be a business person. And I think that I learned a lot from that. There's things that I don't like about that, and there's things that I do like about that in a sense. But yeah, closing was heartbreaking. It's heartbreaking to the community for sure, because it's like in Beaver County, it's just like anywhere else. It's like small town, like, you know, don't follow your dreams if they're a bad idea. You know, I wanted to like kind of like be that hero for people or whatever if you stick it out, and it's hard. If I was like a single man, I probably would have tried to stick it out through this better, but you know, like I have a family and I kind of would like to have more kids and stuff, so I've thought about those things. But yeah, it's sad to see, and there's things I don't miss for sure about running a shop, and it's the more you grow, the more brands want to get in your shop. Everyone wants to sell you something, and I can't tell you how overwhelming the consumerism actually is in skateboarding. And that's like a dark side. Like I kind of just like to be in the streets and go skateboarding and like talk about skateboarding with people. I used to do lessons with kids, and kids that were allowed to like go street skating with me. Like those kids are like close to me. You know what I mean? Those are huge memories for those kids, and then my friends. And like I like to do skateboarding. I don't, selling it is different. I was pretty good at it and honest, you know. So, but once you reach a level, you have to stick to it. And the circumstances of the world, like you have to be prepared for that. Like we're not like a corporation with like 10 owners like investing, and we're gonna like be able to get through this like CCS or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We're just like in Beaver. You know?
Yeah.
So yeah, that stuff's hard. But there's a lot of growth through the trials. There's doors that can be opened through that. And
I was just curious how faith and skateboarding kind of like intermingle.
yeah, so that's interesting. Obviously as a teenager and like a young adult and through like my journey in that way, I didn't care about religion or Christianity, or if anything, I thought it was like silly and goofy. That came later in the picture. So I think it makes, I kind of wish I had faith through the whole journey. I think the experience would have been even like way more awesome, but thankful for the way things happened. So yeah, it's kind of strange. We live in a time period where that is controversial. But yeah, like so faith, for example, it's like a slow thing. Like you have your moment where it's revealed to you and it grows. And so now it's a way of life. You know what I mean? There's morals you believe in and like stuff like that. And it affects your worldview and mind frame. And it kind of, I would say, fulfills everything else that you do. So gives it even better purpose in a sense.
Yeah, that's really awesome.
There's like, you know, some people are interested in doing skateboarding, if that makes sense. Not everyone is like possessed or whatever to like want to go and like spend your summer when you're 11 trying to learn how to kickflip. You know what I mean? So what I've learned through faith is that there's a spiritual element to everything. And I would say that is like the like-minded like spirit or force that brings like communities together, or like why is there like a punk rock scene? Like what gravitates those individuals there in a sense. And that's kind of how I understand that now, and it's also a mystery. You can't actually understand that.
You mentioned to me through a DM that you were planning on starting a new venture, so you don't seem conquered at all. Like this is just the beginning for you.
Yeah, I have an idea for like a new like lifestyle brand or whatever you want to call it. I kind of hate like the language of things, but yeah, I have an idea I've been working on. Faith is very inspiring to me as an artist. And a lot of people that try to go that route, and I don't want to be judgmental, but that stuff's usually extremely cringy and terrible and repelling. And I just think the world thirsts for something with meaning, and I'd like to share what we like and hopefully water seeds in their hearts that they don't even know that are in there, and just let it speak for itself. I have not shown anything that I want to do to my spiritual fathers, but that's huge to show them, because then it's blessed to do it, and then I don't do anything sacrilegious, if that makes sense. So yeah, there's a lot of meaning with it, for sure. It means a lot. So yeah.
Before we end this segment, is there anything you would like to say to the audience? Just whatever you feel like saying, a free outlet to just voice whatever has been concerning you about like the world, or just how you wish the world would be.
Oh my. I'll try to be simple. I struggle with that. You know, everybody sees that there's something obviously wrong and broken in the world. And we all want like freedom and love, but I think that we don't know what that means or what that looks like. And I think people would be surprised what the actual protest that you want to do is. And that's kind of like what I hope inspires with the brand or whatever that I want to pursue. So yeah, we live in an interesting time. We are the age of digital technology, and we're going into AI, and we have to learn how to live with these things. And not that these things are evil within themselves, but we need to learn how to do things with a proper aim and stuff like that. So
What's your name, man?
A is
Deion
for
Bricker.
alcohol, and B is for the blood you stole, and C is for the church I built for you. I worship you all over town, and I finally set my temple down, and you swooped in and desecrated all. A is for alcohol, and B is for the burning embers of my soul, ejaculated premature. I'm disappointed in you. A is for alcohol, and B is for the blood you stole, and C is for the cold stare I give you.